live, Evan.
Hello and welcome to Loudon, New Hampshire and the New Hampshire Motor Speedway for ITSR Twisted Cup Tuesday night action for race number 7 and halfway through season number 2 here with the ITSR crew and halfway through their 2014 campaign as tonight the Fisher Cats Baseball 130 laps around the Magic Mile. Welcome you into the broadcast booth. My name is Evan Pasoko. Michael Keaton also going to be joining me up here this evening, and before we move on to tonight's festivities, going to take a quick update on what's going on around the league and results from last week when we went to the Daytona International Speedway. 74 laps. CJ LaVere gets it as Jose Gonzalez, his teammate, gives him that W in those closing laps. LaVere leading only one lap, and it was the most important. He takes home the win. Jose Gonzalez coming home in the number 2 spot. Edison Lima Jr. wrapping up with a third place finish. Scott Simley 4th. Stephen Herring coming home in 5th. Justin Wilson, the last car to finish on the lead lap, in 6th. Bobby Terrell, 1 lap down, in 7th. Ryan Vaughn comes home 8th. 9th belonging to Josh Cheney. And LD Sarabia comes home in 10th as the drivers work through a 10-minute open qualifying session. Going to run you through the top 5 in the championship standings, and again, race number 7 of 12 in season 2. So we're halfway home, and Jose Gonzalez is sitting comfortably up at the top of the pile with nearly a race. He has 38 points over LT Sarabia, who sits second in the championship standings. Jose sitting on 5 wins. So Sarabia sits second. CJ LaVere is in third, 42 back. 45 back is Rich Jett in fourth. And 5th, John Wilco, 47 points back. More to come for that. But first, we're going to head down trackside for tonight's opening ceremonies.
New shoes, and I don't know where I'm going to. Silk suit, black tie, and I don't need a reason why. They come running just as fast as they can. Every girl's crazy about a sharp-dressed man. Gold watch, diamond ring, well, I ain't missing on a single thing. Cornflakes, stick pin, asking if I don't know to do you in. They come running just as fast as they can.
Hey, look here, beavers. You better hide your wives, hide your husband, and look here, both of you hide your kids, because we're coming.
Every girl's crazy about a sharp-dressed man. Looking sharp, looking for love. They come running just as fast as they can. Every girl's crazy about a sharp dress man. suit, black tie, and I don't need a reason why. They come running just as fast as they can. Every girl's crazy about it.
It's quiet. Too quiet.
Hello, welcome back to New Hampshire Motor Speedway with the ITSR Twisted Cup Series, where qualifying has just been completed. And Evan, Mr. 58, Justin M. Wilson, will be the quickest tonight on the board, and that's Chevrolet. Outside of him is the 7 car of Bobby Terrell.
Yeah, and those guys were not expecting that open qualifying session, so already a little bit of tricks being pulled out of their sleeves to knock down those laps. CJ LaVere will qualify inside of the second row, starting third alongside Matt Lacrosse. Or rather, my apologies there, it is Matt Lacrosse in the number 21, going to be starting in fourth.
Fifth spot is the 41 machine of Nathan Little to his outside. The points leader, who you mentioned, Evan, has a big comfortable lead. He sits sixth tonight.
Take a look at Ben Burnett. The 37 car is going to roll her off in position number 7, and Brian Harvey will be starting in 8th. Brian Harvey, one of the fastest cars in the practice session in his 66 machine.
Mr. Scott Simley, that I like to call Mr. Smiley, sits ninth tonight in his 68 car to his outside. Rounding out your top 10 for tonight at Loudon is the 36 machine of Rich Jett.
Row 6 is going to be the 11 machine of LD Sarabia in position number 11. Alongside him, Ryan Vaughn, and the 28 machine is going to roll off in 12th.
13th tonight is the 5 car of Douglas Wyatt and his partner. Outside of him tonight in the 14th spot in the number 14 car, Josh Cheney.
Last car to put down a time in the qualifying session, Edison Lima Jr. in the number 19 machine. He will take up position number 15, and alongside him, 16th spot belongs to 2 of J. Randall Watkins.
Last row tonight will make up the 17th and 18th starting positions. The 62 of John Wilco starts 17th, and 18th tonight is the 98 machine of Stephen Herring. And that back row Motorsport Chevrolet tonight, starting with the butt-paste monkey on the front, yellow car. So tonight, 18 drivers set to take 130 laps around New Hampshire Motor Speedway, a track that isn't a mile. It's a little over a mile, 1.06 miles as a matter of fact. And we will have nice temperatures in the air tonight here in New Hampshire, 80 degrees with a slight northward wind of 4 miles an hour. And race humidity tonight is 28%, unlike in Alabama where humidity is always 100%. So a good looking field tonight too, Evan. 18 drivers.
Yeah, if we even want to get more technical, let's call it 1.058 miles long. In this racetrack, variable banking, 2 to 7 degrees. I'll tell you though, if you're up by the 7 degrees, that means you're up by the fence, and that's not going to end well for you. So even though it is variable banking, you don't want to be up there in the 7%. This line to where you want to go with the racetrack groove is right in the middle of the racetrack, and we're getting ready to get things kicked off. Let's see how the 58 of Justin Wilson handles this restart.
Breaking news, the driver on the pit road surface right now is Jose Gonzalez. Your points leader going to take it from the pits to start this race as we get going green. The 58 lime green fighting machine of Justin Wilson leads us to it, and he will take the charge of field off into turn 1.
First battle is for the number 3 position. The 21 of Antler Cross is on the charge on the outside lane, trying to find a way around CJ LaVere. He will pick up that position, so Lacrosse is going to go from 4th to 3rd, and LaVere drops back to 4th, as now everybody inside the top 5, and now, for that matter of fact, the top 10 single file out in 3 and 4.
And they were coming around the complete lap one here. Jose Gonzalez just on the backstretch entering turn 3 as Wilson enters turn 1. Single file, the top 15, all the way through the rest of the field, 17th spot. All single file right now as we've got one through the grass, the 5 car, Douglas Wyatt. Electrical problems for him. He's in the grass. He spins it out coming off the corner there, keeps it below the apron. No caution, but that 5 car is having some trouble.
Yeah, he's blinking really bad, and he was discussing that with race control during the warm-up here, and he's been blinking it out, having those connection issues with the sim all night long, and it's some pretty bad blinking for Douglas Wyatt. It seems to have calmed down for a moment's time, but right now he sits way, way back in position number 17. Only car behind him is Jose Gonzalez, again top of the championship points. He started on pit road, which you mentioned, so he did not line up in position number 6 where he would have if he took to the grid. Justin Wilson continues to lead everybody single file out. This racetrack, we talked about the banking a little bit. You might as well call it flat. There is not a lot of group, if any. There's no grip on this racetrack. You really got to search for it. And once again, like we have had to, discuss with this new tire model, can't really call it new anymore, is these cars, again, very, very unstable. Most of the incidents that we saw in the practice session were drivers trying to push the limit and see what they can and cannot do, getting back to the gas coming at a quarter number 2, which is something to note for later on in this race.
Absolutely. It is very, very flat, as you mentioned, and really there's somewhat of a tenured second groove, if you will, but it's short-lived. I think you can make it stick for maybe half of a lap. Oh, it's the 41 car of Nathan Little down the backstretch in 7th spot. Gets turned, and his night could be done. Ben Burnett gets into the back of him, but the 41 car starts it all along by himself. Nathan Little gets loose off of the corner there and corrects it up into the wall, and Ben Burnett is going to collect a heavy rear end from Little.
And just as we mentioned, the fact that turn 2 is going to be a problem spot, you see the 41 overcorrect it, put it into the outside wall of the 37 of Ben Burnett with nowhere to go, knocks him around, and both those cars, heavy, heavy damage. Nathan Little has already retired from the sim. He has gone his night very abruptly will come to a finish. The 37 of Ben Burnett, however, still racing in his National Guard Chevrolet. He drops to behind the 2 of J. Randall Watkins, and now the 62 of John Wilco around him as well. So Ben Burnett well outside of the top 10 off pace as the 62 nearly spins it out in 1 and 2. This racetrack very, very treacherous with 130 laps on the board and a relatively small size of the field in tonight's race. You're really not racing those other cars on track. You're just trying to survive. You really got to pedal that throttle and feather it through the corner because this racetrack and these cars, they'll snap around very quickly on you.
Breaking news here, unscheduled pit stop perhaps by the 4 crew of C.J. LaVere. He was in position number 3, Evan, when he went to come to the pit road here. And this should be unscheduled here. Lap 7, now 8 completed, as the 2 of J. Randall Watkins spins heavy through the corner there. So J. Randall Watkins into the wall.
And C.J. LaVere has pulled down pit road and is talking with race control, and we may have an issue here with the race. C.J. LaVere speaking with race control on the sim. The caution flag was not thrown for those 2-3 spins that we saw, and C.J. LaVere is telling race control that the sim may have been improperly set up, and actually caution flags are currently disabled and cannot be thrown. So developing story is Justin Wilson doing a little bit of Gymkhana in 1 and 2. Not sure if this race is going to be stopped here. Justin Wilson currently leading on lap number 10, 130 laps in tonight's affair. Now J. Randall Watkins has wrecked in the number 2 machine, and a big wreck at a corner number 2. The 2 machine lost it, nearly got into 1. We have cars all over the back straightaway, and we're going to pull them in, and this race is going to be stopped, and they are going to attempt to reset this sim as, again, improperly set up in the caution flags for one reason.
Can you hear me?
What is going on, but this race, as far as we know, is going to be stopped for the time being.
They pulling the plug on it, Maniac?
For a second, but I didn't hear him say anything, so
Yeah,
I'm just waiting on his word here.
I think they're going to end it. Really? He said there's
Rain delay!
He said there's
It
been
is
5.
raining. The rain is out. The red flag has been thrown. It is pouring. As the sun shines, there's a rainbow.
Yeah, I have to say, though, there wasn't quite 5 wrecks. There might have been 2, and both of them were down in the grass, not even on the track. But the one for sure should have been thrown was J. Randall Watkins.
I completely agree.
Yeah, he completely spun it on the track. But that would have only been the first caution. The other stuff wouldn't have caused a caution.
Hey guys, hate to interrupt your broadcast there, but we want to let you
No,
know.
we're not broadcasting.
Oh, beautiful.
No, we are,
We're gonna-
actually.
Okay, we're gonna move to a new server. We're gonna open up a new server with the cautions on and fix this problem. Cut the laps down a few minutes there, and we'll get up in a few minutes here. Just want to let you know what's going on though.
Okay.
What a mess.
Rain delay.
There you
Alright,
go. We got a short rain delay here.
First rain delay ever.
It's history.
It really is. ITSR history.
I'll let you know as soon as I know anything.
Alright.
Will we
Yeah.
be starting like fresh from there, from the start of the broadcast? Like all new, we gotta go through all that garbage? Alright, 10-4.
Also, too, I really hope that they cut the laps down, because this is probably going to take about 20 minutes.
Okay, it should be up there. I'm gonna jump in it right now, so. I'm not in any of them right now, so just let you know. It's on the very bottom. So I believe so. I'm going in there right now.
In a world where survival is the only
Well, it should have everybody in there because they should be all be jumping in there now.
where winning is everything and weakness is fatal, how much difference can one person make? That depends on the person. In every life, there is a line that cannot be crossed without leaving everything behind, except faith. Once that step is taken, there is no looking back, and all that lies ahead is destiny. There is no looking back, and all that lies ahead is destiny.
There's a point where it dips, there's a point where it breaks, there's a point where it bends, and a point we just can't take anymore. There's a line that we'll cross and there's no return. There's a time and a place, no bridges left to burn anymore. We can't just wait, we're live to stake until the victory. Our enemies are gathering, the storm is rolling in. Now it's time to say goodbye. The things we love and the innocence of youth. How the time seems to fly.
Wait!
And the solitude and peace we always need.
Have you started? I don't understand what we're...
There's a day when we'll fight and we're not gonna fall. There's a day when we'll stand and a day when we won't fall anymore. There's a moment in time when there's no going back. When we're pushed too hard, we won't hold our attack anymore. We can't just cling to childish things as evil blood grows closer. Humanity.
Alrighty, and welcome back, where we've had a brief, very brief, rain delay. First time in history.
This is history.
Yeah.
This
Yep.
is history in the making here.
ITSR, for the first time in ITSR Twisted Cup Series history, we've had our first rain delay.
And I see sun, so if we see
Yes.
some rainbows, we'll get some nice shots of that on the stream for you guys.
There's a dark cloud that's covered up the south end of the racetrack, but it does not carry too much rain with it, so we should get that blowed over quickly and back to racing as requalifying these drivers is back underway here. Justin Wilson picked up the pole last time. That's the way these guys are going to do it, Evan. I like that, the requalifying with the rain delay, because they didn't get halfway through. They just said, you know what, let's reline them up and qualify them again.
And this could change the way the race goes. We saw guys like Jose Gonzalez that they started from pit road and ended up trailing around half a lap behind these guys, possibly from a strategy call. But I mean, looking at the guys that are in here, pretty much the same group. We don't have that 10-minute open qualifier, so that was also an issue there. But right now, only 5 minutes, so just working up on about 3 minutes to go. Each driver only gets 2 laps, so your standard qualifying procedures. And that's what you got to do. You can't just have the sim randomly decide who's going to start where. So I mean, you give them the bare minimum time, 5 minutes. They can go out there, run their laps, and get another shot at that. The laps have been reduced, so the Fisher Cats Baseball 130 will now be a 110-lap affair, and nothing from the previous session really counts for points. So in a way, we're starting it over here, but the rain has the rain's gone away. Apparently, this was before it was happy hour, so now it's time to get going.
Happy hour indeed, and qualifying still underway. How about this? The 58 car quickest on the board. 29.433, but we're not finished yet. About 2.5 minutes remain in qualifying. And with that said, we're going to take our commercial break, come back, and hopefully we're green flag racing with the next 2.0 starting grid here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway with the ITSR Twisted Cup Series here live on MW Productions Tuesday night.
Hi, I'm Todd Malmstrom, driver of the 75M Ford Mustang GT. This is what I do by night. And this is what I do by day. I sell new Fords, and I've got the best selections of used inventory that you could ask for. Come see me down here at Central Ford.
Are you tired of getting hassled at the dealerships? Looking for a salesman that knows what he's talking about? Are you looking to buy a new or used car? Then look no further! Sexton Ford Moline, Illinois has the biggest selection of new or pre-owned vehicles, and Todd Malmstrom is the salesman you want. Todd is an expert when it comes to cars, and if you don't believe me, then you should see him race on a Sunday night. With his top-notch professional customer service and expertise, he will make sure you go home in the right car for the right price. No hassle, no haggling. Todd will make sure that you're happy when you leave the lot with your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, Sexton Ford may be the talk of the town, but so is Todd Malmstrom. If you're in the market for a new ride, then buy one from a winner. Todd Malmstrom at Sexton Ford Moline.
And we're back live here where qualifying 2.0 has just been completed. And yes, sirree, it's kind of like last time. The 58 car is your pole sitter for tonight at New Hampshire with a 29.433. Justin Wilson. Outside him, the 4 car, a new outside position, C.J. LeVere.
The Muscle Milk Chevrolet of Bobby Terrell's going to roll off at the inside of the second row in position number 3. Alongside him, the 66, the 66 of Brian Harvey takes 4th.
Matt Lacrosse in that 21 machine tonight rolls off 5th quickest. Rich Jett, 36 car, will be 6th.
The 68 Ford of Scott Simley takes position number 7. Alongside him, the 37 of Ben Burnett rolls off in position number 8.
Position number 9, the 28 machine of Ryan Vaughn tonight, and to his outside, your points leader, the 26 of Jose Gonzalez.
Hippie Doug Douglas Wide in the number 5 machine will roll off in position number 11, still battling a little bit of connection issues alongside him. The last car to put down a time in the qualifying session, Edison Lima Jr., the 19, takes 12th.
Josh Chaney in his 14 car will roll off 13th tonight, and the lucky spot for the number 2 machine of J. Randall Watkins will start 14th.
15th, it's going to be LD Sarabia in the number 11 machine. Alongside him, the last car that will occupy a spot on the outside row, the 62 of John Wilco.
And last but not least, bringing up the rear, the number 98 machine of Stephen Herron in that bright yellow adult monkey butt pace machine, Back Row Motorsports. And that's where he will start tonight, the infamous back row, if you will. Evan, Stephen Herring always electing to start in the back in the ITSR Twisted Cup Series. Tonight, again, we've eliminated some of the laps, about 20 of them, so we're down to 110 laps. And we're about to get going here any moment as the pace car leads the field of 17 off into turn 3 here. Justin Wilson in the lime green fighting machine will start us off. Slow but steady, 55 miles an hour, pace speed through the banks of turn 3, through the first entry of turn 4, to the exit of turn 4 as the pace car dips below the apron, also known as the apron. And we're green, the 58 machine of Justin Wilson takes us to the green as we now start back from the rain delay.
And now again, we got to keep in mind that corner number 2, where when we tried to get this race going for the first time before all that moisture got down in the racetrack, turn 2 was Calamity Corner. Something to keep an eye on. However, a lot of guys down just leaving the pit road. A couple drivers tried that pit road strategy. Edison Lima Jr. and Jose Gonzalez started from their pit stalls.
So far, so good. Most of the drivers single file coming off of the exit 4 as they complete lap 1 here. A little bit of battle back here with Josh Chaney in 11th spot and 12th, where Chaney just took over that 2 Deuce Machines position as they go off out of the corner there, off of that Calamity Corner that you mentioned that's so dangerous that we've seen some have difficulties with, as now they go back off into turn 3 single file. So 1 position change there.
You got to be really, really gentle on the gas here. The groove, the racing line that you want to take, it's not down on that white line, but it's not up against the fence. Again, progressive banking, you see these guys running a little bit up into the dark stuff, but not much higher than that. And it's really, really hard to get back to the gas because the corners are so flat. You can't use the fact that, like at a place like Charlotte, you can't really get back to the gas coming off the corner, knowing that since you're going down a hill, you can kind of try to lean on those right side tires, try to get a little bit more grip. And now Kyle Carr spinning at a turn 4. Douglas Wyatt into the inside wall, and caution flag flies just as I'm talking about how you really got to be soft on exit because there's nothing really to support that race car. It's just so unstable. That's what happened to the 5 car, and the cautions are good to go. We are under our first yellow of the race.
And yeah, the 5 car Hippies paint shops machine of Douglas Wyatt will bring it out, and he ate the inside wall there, and don't know the extent of the damage, but his front end of that Camry Toyota looks pretty beat up and got the paint all mangled up. As by the way, 2 drivers elected to start from the pit road, and they're going to get a great break here. The 26 car of Jose Gonzalez, like he did post the first time go around, started from the pit road. Edison Lima Jr. also electing to start from pit road. These guys are going to be able to catch up now to the lead lap, or lead pace here. And an interesting strategy for the twice in a row as Jose Gonzalez starts from the pits.
And you got to think that might, kind of play into a factor of where Jose sits right now. In the Season 2 championship standings, he has 38 points over LD Sarabia. LD Sarabia currently runs on the racetrack in position number 12. And the 11 machine is actually going to bring it down pit road. We have a couple of takers. The 36 of Rich Jett appears to be the first car to come down pit road from position number 7 or so. I believe he may have been running top 5 before he peeled it down to pace speed and get down to the pit lane. So 36 is going to slow her down and come in for service. The 21 machine joins him, but Jose may be playing a little bit of defense. Again, 38 points over LD Sarabia in the Season 2 championship standings, and in the overall standings, Seasons 1 and 2 combined, he has a 30 advantage over CJ LeVere. CJ sitting in second place. So Jose knows that this track can be very treacherous. Talked to him before the race, so possibly just a little bit of a strategy call on his side of things, knowing that anything can happen, and very quickly can you get caught up in a lot of that traffic. And I mean, we single filed out pretty good there on the drop of the green flag, but again, corner exit, you have to be so delicate with it that he just wants a little bit of space for his fenders.
Absolutely, and as we got a second here, let's kind of run through Season 2 here. We are in part 2 of Season 2, so the bottom half, the 6 final races left to go. Starting out, point 2 is Loudon, where we're at tonight, 110 laps. But the man who would win the Ben and Elaine Dover 130 at Dover International Raceway was Jose Gonzalez. Second race of Season 2, Pocono, the Part Uno 74 laps. Second winner, Jose Gonzalez. Third race of Season 2, the Bo Schindler Memorial, brought to you by Quick Car 80 at Michigan for 80 laps, was the man number 21, car 21, John Higman Jr., who is not here tonight. Race number 4, put a cork in at 30, the Infineon Cup for 30 laps, road course for the first ever time in the ITSR Twisted Cup Series. The man who would win that one, Justin Wilson, the guy who's led the most laps out of first part of the rain delay race and then the second part. As we're going back green, we'll get the rest of the rundown here as Justin Wilson restart this race for the second time tonight.
And he sails it off into turns 1 and 2 with a little bit of advantage. The Ford of CJ LaVere is the challenger. 3 wide in the middle of the pack. The 28 of Ryan Vaughn is caught in the middle, and that was a close call. The 7 of Bobby Terrell got sideways on the outside lane right in front of the 37. The 37 Ben Burnett had to check up, but a big checkup throughout the field, but they did not get run over, so clean and green by the strike this time as Justin Wilson takes lap number 9.
You mentioned Bobby Terrell there, Evan. Bobby Terrell would pick up Kentucky's win, race 5. And of course, last week, we've already talked about it, CJ LaVere would win at Daytona, the 74-lap race in Florida. And tonight, it's anybody's ball game. And right now, that 58 car, the lime green fighting machine of Justin Wilson, looks pretty quick. But CJ LaVere is not so far away in second. And look at that 66 car Fearless Racing teammate to CJ, Brian Harvey, in third.
And the top 3 have pulled away to a certain extent, and it seems to always be that the top 3 is really the sweet spot where you're going to get away from the rest of the field. Brian Harvey, you talked about him, the 66, and actually now caution flag going to fly on the racetrack. Trouble, it is the 14 of Josh Cheney, a self-spin out of corner number 2 back under yellow. But as I was saying, those top 3 actually just opened up a second gap on the rest of the field before that caution flies. But the Exo-Sanitary 14 of Josh Cheney is going to go around in turn number 2, and we're going to go back under the yellow flag conditions.
And Josh Cheney got real lucky there. He did the self-solo spin, but did not hit the outside wall nor the inside wall, and just got a touch of 2 tires into the New Hampshire grass down at the bottom. So, as you mentioned, the second caution is out. Half the field pits on the first time go around. We'll see if Justin Wilson brings the betterment of the field down this time by, as 10 laps have been complete. So mark that as 100 laps to go here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And Justin Wilson will not bring the field down pit road. But Ben Burnett, he's not going to come down. But the first man to come down is the 36 car of Rich Jett, also the 62 of John Wilco. Both of those drivers pitted the first time by. And as we're working caution number 2, we're going to step away, take our first commercial break. After the rain delay, you're watching MW Productions live coverage of the ITSR Twisted Cup Series live here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Trucking has always been a part of me. It started years ago when my dad and granddad were hauling vegetables to market in Liverpool. The family immigrated to Canada in the late 60s and settled near Alliston, Ontario. I bought my first truck in 1982 and Mercer Trucking was born. Today, Mercer Trucking has over 50 trucks in terminals in Toronto and Los Angeles. Our storage facilities at both terminals can handle any size of distribution needs throughout North America. We service the continental U.S., including Hawaii and Alaska. We run over 120,000 miles per month and some of the best equipment on the road today. We specialize in less than truckload shipments, show freight, we do rush team service deliveries, and haul your refrigerated or heated product. Our regular team service from Canada to California is second to none, and our staff and drivers are among the best in the business. I'm proud of our people and what they can achieve. Trucking is in my blood, it's my livelihood, and it's what I do best.
DGVertec.net's primary goal is to provide you with a successful website presence. They have purpose-built their web servers successfully throughout the years. The stress testing has been done so that they can provide you with enhanced web hosting technology that they design for using future standards today for tomorrow. They offer 24/7 support for all web hosting plans. Their team answers support tickets 24/7, so if you have a problem at any time, an agent will be more than happy to help you. If you're not satisfied with your service within 7 days, then you can get a full money-back guarantee, with a 99 uptime guaranteed as well, with plans for shared hosting starting at just $2.95. It's clear to see why DG Vertec should be your choice for web hosting. Just go to www.dgvertec.net today, your web hosting solution.
Back live here where we just got back in time to go green here. Justin Wilson will take this field of 17 to the green flag for the third time tonight. He's off to a great start here so far, leading all laps, all 14 of them, and none in the top 7 have pitted.
Side by side for third, it's the 7 machine of Bobby Terrell on the outside lane. He's going to be able to steal that from the 66 of Brian Harvey. Harvey really throws it in there side by side. At corner number 3 through 3 and 4, the 7 on the outside lane will prevail. Bobby Terrell does end up getting position number 3 as the 66 of Harvey has to settle for 4th. Now the 37 of Ben Burnett's going to challenge for that in contact into the corner. He gets into the 66 and Brian Harvey is going to save it. Oh, and a hard lick. The 2 machine is going to ram into him. J. Randall Watkins with heavy, heavy damage, and that was an ugly mess.
I don't know how they did not spin out and wreck, but somehow or another these guys, look at them right here though in 8 spots, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, and going at it side by side. Jose Gonzalez to the bottom side with Scott Simley to the high side as now. Caution is out. Brian Harvey gonna spin it coming off of the corner. He was part of the mix up there, Evan, with that big wreck. Oh yeah, he just spins it and hits the inside wall there.
A tough break there, and it all starts when going down into the corner. It's Ben Burnett who throws it in there, and for lack of a better description, runs over the 66. 66 gets sideways, he saves it, and then the 2 machine out of nowhere plows the back of the 66. 66's car just too damaged, and Brian Harvey spins it into the inside wall, goes nose first into that concrete barrier, the pit road wall, and his night has done. He has retired from the sim and back under the yellow flag conditions just shy of lap number 20.
So third caution here so far tonight. Will Justin Wilson finally come down pit road here? He will be completing lap 18 this time by. It'll be 19 laps completed, which of course we've ran about 8 laps under caution, and he will pit. So will C.J. Lavere, Bobby Terrell, Ben Burnett, the whole field except for Jose Gonzalez and the 21 of Matt Lacrosse. But the rest of the guys, they're coming down pit road here, Evan. We're going to get some fresh Goodyears.
And Justin Wilson in the number 58 machine is going to lead these guys down through the pit lane. And you mentioned 26, 21 going to stay out. Jose Gonzalez, Matt Lacrosse going to stay on track. Seeing the 58 of Justin Wilson's strategy. Right side tires going on his Joey Jattina Racing Chevrolet. The 4 of C.J. Lavere just behind him doing the same thing. The race off pit road is going to be easily taken by Justin Wilson, having that number 1 pit stall for qualifying on pole. He's first off, Lavere second, Terrell third, and Scott Simley picks up 1 spot. He overjumps Ben Burnett, so Simley leaves, and then Ben Burnett, the first 5 off of the pit lane.
So let's see here. Jose Gonzalez takes the lead over. Second will belong to Matt Lacrosse. Third, Rich Jett. Remember, he's pitted all the times that they've had the caution out. Justin Wilson will be shown in 4th spot, so he's not going to lose too terribly much in the shake of things. So only 3 drivers staying out. Now, let's see. Rich Jett has a little bit fresher tires than the 2 guys in front of him, Lacrosse and Gonzalez. But obviously the Justin Wilson machine, who's been very dominant tonight, and C.J. LeVere, of course, and Bobby Terrell and those guys back there, they're all on fresh Goodyears. And if I can do my math right, we're coming to 90 laps to go here this time by. 90 laps to go. Jose Gonzalez will lead the 90 to go mark here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And, of course, next time out will be in Indianapolis, and that will be the 29th, folks. July 29th. So bringing up my calendar here. The 29th, we're going to have an off week. Next Tuesday night, let's all go somewhere to eat. We're off. We won't see you again. C.J. LeVere.
Well, from what I've
Mike.
heard from the drivers, CJ is apparently going to owe everybody $5 for every caution because of the mix-up.
I'll take it. Hey, you know what? What's so cool is you can order Domino's Pizza for me from where you live, and you could just order it to my address, so that we could all get, CJ could do that for all of us. That would be great.
All right, we'll have to let them know what's going on after the race.
Yeah. So the 29th, we'll be back live in action in the studio here in the broadcast booth with you, and that will be the Shooting Bricks Pacers Basketball 70 at Indianapolis. Can't wait for that one. I love that track. And then we'll shoot off to Pocono to the Park Doss 74, cruising the Glen. Lions football, Michigan 80, and the Hold My Beer, and watch this, Bristol Night 150. That's going to end things in Season 2, but beginning a new run here is the 26 of Jose Gonzalez as he takes us to the green here. Back through the front stretch, 2 turns, 1 here. Matt Lacrosse drifting up the track. We may see 3 wide coming off the corner, and we will.
It's tight. The 58 of Wilson is in the middle, and he looks like he's going to back out of it down to back straightaway. 21 of Matt Lacrosse clears it. It's side-by-side for 3rd position now as they go through 3 and 4. A little bit of conflict in 1 and 2. The 28 car of Ryan Vaughn nearly dumping the 37 of Ben Burnett. Those drivers exchanging words and a little bit of contact down the backstretch, but the top 5 single file of Melton 1 and 2.
Wow, what a race so far. These guys up front jockeying. Here's the 4 car, C.J. LeVere and fist. Oh, nearly loses it in front of Simley. Simley will get by here, coming through turn 3 here. LeVere doing the gentleman's favor of just gathering it up and going low, and that opened up the door for that 6-spot car to take over number 5 as CJ has gathered things back up for the moment as Matt Lacrosse looks for the lead. As 19 car into the wall, Edison Lemma Jr. coming off of turn 4, hits the wall, and he has parked it. No caution.
He's going to take the tow back to pit road, and I don't currently see him on the racetrack, so his night may come to a little bit of an early ending here as we approach the lap 25 mark. Lap 25 is just now underway. Jose Gonzalez, however, that machine up front is under attack, because I'll tell you that 21 Matt Lacrosse is getting bigger and bigger in the rearview mirror, and he's bringing Justin Wilson with him.
Yeah, Justin Wilson trying to find his way, his JGR Chevy up to the front here. That's a Chevy. Right in front of him, the Toyota Camry, Matt Lacrosse. And then you've got the Jose Gonzalez machine. It's Matt Lacrosse into the wall.
Oh, he's in the wall.
Uh-oh.
And around Matt Lacrosse, just like that. Challenging for the number 1 position, gets sideways out of 4 and smacks the inside wall, goes around in front of traffic, avoids further contact, but heavy left side damage to the Fearless Racing Toyota of that 21 of Matt Lacrosse, and back under the caution flag at lap 26.
Quick Car Racing Products on the front looks more like Quick CA, like Quick Canada or something. That machine is torn up in the front end. Matt Lacrosse sustaining heavy damage here on lap 25. And as you mentioned, battling for the lead here. Costly mistake as he gets into the outside wall, then to the inside wall, spins up in front of traffic, and everyone squeezes by. And Ben Burnett squeezes by his teeth as he is driving the Superman National Guard Chevy tonight. So we're back under caution. We're going to take away, I'm going to go get me a hot dog. I heard the Loud New Hampshire hot dogs are something to be contended with. So I might go get me a hot dog and see if Evan wants a cookie or something. But with that said, I might go grab Michael Woolley something to drink as the leader's coming back down pit road here to complete lap 27. You won't miss a thing, side by side live here on the MW Productions Network. Back live here, pacing off of turn 2 here, the pace car. Leading a couple of laps here tonight in New Hampshire. The Chevy of Jose Gonzalez, still your race leader. Bobby Terrell's second. Ryan Vaughn is in the third spot. CJ LeVere fourth. Justin Wilson fifth. Scott Simley sixth. Rich Jett seventh. Josh Chaney eighth. Stephen Herring ninth. Ben Burnett 10th. John Wilco 11th. LD Sarabia 12th. 13th is Douglas Wyatt. 14th is Matt Lacrosse. Jay Rundle Watkins 11 down and 15th. Brian Harvey 13 down and 16th. And Edison Lemon Jr. rounding out the 17th spot. 14 down as Jose Gonzalez sets us back to the green flag racing conditions that we all love, as lap 30 has now been complete. 80 laps to go.
Some of these drivers would, really like to get in a little bit of a rhythm here. Jose swept up high in turns 1 and 2. Actually, that's going to allow Bobby Terrell to close in. Look at CJ LeVere muscling his way on the outside lane, moves Ryan Vaughn out of the way as a big wiggle for the 68 of Scott Simley. Simley trying to find a way around LeVere and the 28 as everybody scrunches up and side by side for fourth on back, top 3 single file out. But the string of cautions here in the opening stages are preventing some of these guys from trying to get spread out and just log some laps, so they really haven't been able to settle into a little bit of a groove, which kind of provides this little bit of uneasy racing that we're seeing. The 58 of Justin Wilson trying to get around the 28 down the back straightaway. They're going to go side by side into 3. Expect Wilson to get this.
Yeah, Wilson's got the preferred lower lane here as the 28 of Ryan Vaughn stuck to the outside. He's got help, though, from that purple car, as Wilson will take over. The 36 of Rich Jett and Ben Burnett now swap licks. Now they're single file back off into the sunsets of southern Hampshires. The south-southern sunset of New Hampshire. That's a tongue twister. Gosh.
That's one of those say that 3 times fast and see how
I
it
can't even
works out.
say it once. Gosh. It would have sounded great, but I couldn't get it out. Oh well.
It looked good on the teleprompter, but
It did. Yeah, it did. It really did. Look at Bobby Terrell muscling, milking his way up to second spot there. Running a little bit slower lap time than your leader, Jose Gonzalez. Both of them hitting 30 flats, though.
yeah, I feel like Bobby Terrell has a chance here at trying to muscle his way around Jose, and we haven't really been able to see what kind of Jose has. Again, he qualified 10th, and he qualified a little bit better when we took our first crack at this before the skies opened up, but he both times decided and elected to start from pit road, which put him to the back end of the field, nearly a half lap behind on the start, taking it easy as he tries to protect his championship points lead. So he's back out front. He's actually looking pretty stout. He appears to be pulling out a little bit of time on the 7 of Terrell, but Terrell real strong there through turn number 4. We're going to have to see the intervals this time by the start-finish line to take lap number 36. Terrell closes it in just barely, and now another caution flag at a flying trouble back in the pack, and one car solo spin into the inside wall. It is the 98 of Stephen Herring all alone in turn number 4. Again, corner exit at New Hampshire. There is no grip. You can't try to overdrive it. You can't give it that little much, just the slightest bit. And he's ended up in the inside wall, and we are back to yellow.
Oh, boy. Yeah, Stephen he lost it, and although barely moving, he just looked like he may have tapped the brake, and it just really spun him out, and he ate the inside wall there off of corner 4, and he's got extensive damage to the front end of that back row Chevy. So Herring bringing us out for caution. He is in 13th spot, battling with the likes of John Wilco and Josh Chaney, who's surrounding. Evidently couldn't keep it off the wall and sustained damage as we are working lap 36 here. Jose Gonzalez has all 4 tires below the yellow apron, looking like a pit entry here for him, and he will be in the pit area. He has committed.
So Jose is going to bring it down. Bobby Terrell trails him in. CJ LeVere is going to stay out. A couple of the cars staying out with him. Ben Burnett amongst them, and everybody else is come down the pit road for service. So let's see how this shakes out with Jose ending his pit stall, and not the most solid qualifying effort in this session here, so he may, lose a couple spots here depending on how good he's going to get out of his stall. It's 4-tire service. Looks like the 5's going to beat him out. The 68 is going to beat him out, and there you go. Jose Gonzalez is the first car on. He actually beats the 5, it appears, out of pit row, but does get beat by the 68 of Scott Simley. Simley going to skip a spot and pass Jose Gonzalez, and again, that's what comes with having a rather dismal qualifying effort. Not what you were looking for is the fact that your stall's in the middle of it all and really not beneficial, as opposed to being on pole position, getting that last stall on pit road. So it bit him there, and Jose's going to drop back to where he's been trying to avoid all night long, and that's basically mid-pack in this thing.
So let's see, kind of a quick rundown of after pitting. CJ LeVere did stay out. 37, Ben Burnett second. Justin Wilson will move up to third. Scott Simley fourth, and Jose Gonzalez will round out your top 5. So Jose falling 4 spots in the mix-up. The front 4 electing to stay out. That would be a Ford of Simley and 3 Chevys up front. So throw a little Ford in there, and we might have us a race here, as 38 laps have been complete. Looking at my Alabama calculator, 110 minus 38 is 72 laps. This time by will be 71 laps to go here at New Hampshire. That's about, they would have to pit one more time, I believe. I don't think, if it was to go green, which if you play roulette, or if you're one of the gamblers, the Vegas odds are we will see another caution. We've had several tonight. One at lap 5, And we went a few laps, and we saw one at lap 12. A few more laps, one at 19. A few laps, one at 27. A few laps, and this may be the longest streak. We had about 7 laps of green flag racing. Then we saw one just now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cautions tonight.
I think they might be able to stretch it. The fuel window is somewhere in the range of, I want to say, 74 laps of green on a fresh tank. We're going green just now with 70 to go. They've had a little bit of pacing, so I think if this thing goes green, those guys should be good to go, but without question, if they see a yellow, there's nothing going to be stopping them from coming down for 4 fresh tires.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch and see if it plays out. Odds are, though, we'll see. CJ LeVere takes us to the green for his first time tonight as Ben Burnett gets the jump on the outside, but can't pass the leader before the start-finish line. He'll have to let off, and now Justin Wilson slow to get on the gas as now he'll fall back to 4th. Oh, 36 spinning. 36 spinning. Ryan Vaughn spinning.
And the 28, also Ryan Vaughn down into the grass. No caution through 1 and 2. He's going to try to get it back going, and he spins it out in corner number 2. No yellow after he actually drove into a spinning number 36 machine that you touched on. Now the caution is going to fly as a couple cars in the fence. It's the 21 of Matt Lacrosse. Once again, he was just running top 3, and it looks like the 21 just came right up and across the nose of the 62 car who had nowhere to go. The 62 of John Wilco ends up turning Matt Lacrosse up and into the outside wall, destroys the front end of that machine, and back under caution. Matt Lacrosse has retired from the sim. Michael, just like that, in about a 10-lap period, he's going to go from balloting and challenging for the number 1 spot to being out of this race and going to be dropping to well outside of the top 10. It looks like he'll settle somewhere into position at number 14, the way it sits right now, as J. Randall Watkins, Brian Harvey, and Edison Lima Jr. have all already disconnected.
While we're working caution number 6, I got to run down these. There's about 21 steps here from the top of the broadcast studio
not
to the
20,
bottom.
21.
21, not 20. Matt Lacrosse's number, 21. Steps to the bathroom here, and we'll be back after that. CJ LeVere, though, just to break you in on the news, he has pitted. So the leader has pitted, and now it will give way to the Scott Simley 68 Ford machine, part of Fearless Racing team. Has now claimed the lead here at New Hampshire. We'll be right back.
In a world where survival is the only rule and feelings have no place, where winning is everything and weakness is fatal, how much difference can one person make? That depends on the person. In every life, there is a line that cannot be crossed without leaving everything behind, except faith. Once that step is taken, there is no looking back, and all that lies ahead is destiny. There is no looking back, and all that lies ahead is destiny.
back live here where pace car getting set to take us back to green flag racing conditions. Scott Simley will take us to the green here with Ben Burnett to the outside, and here we go. Restart with Justin Wilson knocking on the back door early on that Ford of Scott Simley.
Yeah, and they're challenging down through 1 and 2. The 58 of Wilson about half a car length off the back bumper now through the corner. Top three single filing out very quickly. And a JGR Chevrolet, the 58 of Justin Wilson, trying to challenge. He trails him by about a car length down into 3.
Looking back here, kind of mid-pack where the 14 of Josh Cheney runs. He was heavily battled by LD Serbia. Now that's given up here. So back up front, Scott Simley leading the race. Justin Wilson second. Now he's looking. He has a really good run off the corner there. So far, single file off into turn 3 here. Wilson, another good run here, coming through 4 off the corner. Simley with a run. How about that? Scott Simley continues to hang on to this lead. And not only is he hanging on to the lead, but he's holding off one of the fastest here at New Hampshire, and that's Justin Wilson behind him.
Justin Wilson started on pole. The 68 of Simley started in the number 7 spot. So that car obviously enjoying that clean air up at the front of the field, that 68 Ford Fusion. He's pulling about a car length to 2 on the 58 of Justin Wilson. Wilson not really losing ground. And then you have Ben Burnett, the 3rd place machine, has company with the 7 of Bobby Terrell. But as they run right now, 12 of them remain on the lead lap. Ryan Vaughn actually just now coming down pit road. He will lose a lap, which leaves Stephen Herring, the last car on the lead lap, in the number 98 machine. And we've seen him and documented his issues so far tonight. But these drivers trying to look forward to a little bit of a green flag run. We are approaching lap 50, which would mark about 62 laps to go, 61 laps to go actually this time by the stripe. So looking to try to race this thing out, a little bit of green flag racing, and Scott Simley is slowly starting to actually pull away from Justin Wilson. That Fearless Racing machine's looking good up front.
Yeah, not knocking on the door here to halfway here at New Hampshire. Race originally set for 130 laps. We went about 15, somewhere in there, before we got the rain delay come back. Now we've set the race up for 110, and we're nearly halfway home from that. Dominant car the first time go around was Justin Wilson. This time go around, Justin quick in the beginning, but could never find the way back towards the front. Now, nearly halfway through the race, he's knocking on the door of the leader, Scott Simley, and he's looking for the lead here in 3.
And he's going to throw it to the inside. There's not a lot of banking down there. Very loose, side by side, door to door through 3 and off of corner number 4. The 68 of Simley tries to get the run off of 4. He will lead it at the stripe, but Justin Wilson will now be able to dictate his own line. And just as they do so, caution flies the 11 machine of LT Sarabia is going to go around on the front straightaway. Yet again, a self-spin out of corner number 4. No contact with the wall. And Justin Wilson right now sits in front of Scott Simley on the racetrack over, I do believe, Simley. He did have the lead by 5 1/1000ths at the stripe. This may put Simley back into the number 1 position under the caution, but right now Justin Wilson sits P1, and again, for the second time tonight, I think that makes it that just as we get side by side up front, the caution flag does slow things down here again, and we will pass the halfway point under the yellow flag condition.
And that will tie the longest run of tonight. 7 laps, Evan. 7 laps. We have went green. Let's see.
I mean, it's a treacherous track, and we documented that. Again, the banking at this track is progressive. 2 degrees through 7 degrees of banking, 7 degrees up against the fence, 2 degrees down on the apron. You might as well call it flat. And if we ride on board with these guys, and you look at the way these guys have to take those corners as we come down pit road for service, one car is going to stay out. That is Bobby Terrell. 26 of Jose Gonzalez stays out as well. But I mean, you got to look at the way these guys take the corner. And again, at other racetracks, I related it to Charlotte earlier on in the broadcast, was you're going down a hill, so you can kind of lean on those right side tires up against that banking going down and off the corner. It's essentially flat here. You don't have that luxury, so you really got to pedal it until you're on that straightaway before you can get the gas down to the ground and can really start moving. So Wilson enters pit road in the number 1 position. He pulls into the last pit stall. 4 tires for him, and he is not going to be the first car off of pit road. It is the 4 of C.J. LeVere on a 2-tire call, and the 14 of Josh Chaney is going to take 2 tires also. Chaney leaves second, so the first car on 4 tires is Justin Wilson, third off of the pit lane, excuse me.
Pit cycles, if you will, caution pit cycles, for that matter, taking place here at New Hampshire. Stephen Herring's still on pit road, trying to fix some of his damage. 12 drivers on the lead lap currently, all the way back to the 62 of John Wilco. Ryan Vaughn 1 lap down. Matt Lacrosse 12, Randall Watkins 36, Brian Harvey 38, and of course Edison Lemon Jr. 39 laps down. Bobby Terrell leads the race. We've had a bunch of different lead changes tonight, a bunch of different drivers able to lead the race. Wilson's going to find himself in 5th now. Chaney, the 14 car, will be spotted 4th. LeVere 3rd. Gonzalez 2nd. And again, Bobby Terrell and the Hustle Milk Chevy in 1st spot. The pace car leading the way here currently. 55 lap. This time by, Evan, will be the halfway mark. 55th lap coming up here. So we're halfway home. 55 more to go.
Yeah, we have passed that halfway point in tonight's affair, and again, have shortened to 110 laps after a rain delay at the start. And again, cautions, and you talked about, I think the longest that we've made under green is those 7 laps on multiple occasions, and it's not like it's being caused by over-aggressive driving, guys beating and banging. If anything, these guys are in better shape when they're racing each other because they have to be more disciplined. You put those guys out there single file trying to ride their own line and try to give it as much gas as they can, they're going to overdrive that car, and that's what we're seeing with those spins coming off on corner exit. So small amount of field, but most of these incidents that we have seen have been solo car spins. I know that a lot of guys have been able to hang on to them, keep them out of the fence, but there are a lot of fast cars that are out of this race. However, championship leader Jose Gonzalez is still in it. He sits second on the racetrack, and let's see if Bobby Terrell is able to flex his muscles in the Muscle Milk Chevrolet. He is going to be the control car coming for the restart in 3 and 4.
Leading the field off into turn 4, pace car coming off. Bobby Terrell taking us to the green flag here at New Hampshire. A good solid restart for him. Jose Gonzalez, a little slow starting on the outside, but C.J. LeVere going to take advantage of that and try to put it down low, as now Jose Gonzalez looking to the outside here to pass. And he'll control second for now, as Bobby Terrell leads this race. Back behind them is a whole cluster of cars going at it. The 58 Justin Wilson underneath Chaney. The 68 of Simley puts his nose in the mix as well. Josh Chaney stuck on the outside. Wilson can't find the grip. There he finds it. Scott Simley nearly spins it off the corner. Ben Burnett to the outside, side by side, 2 rows deep.
Yeah, it's a 2x2 through turns 1 and 2. The 58 of Justin Wilson is on the inside. He's going to be able to clear the 14 of Josh Chaney. He takes sole possession of position number 4, and now the 68 of Simley wants it. Something's wrong with the 14 of Josh Chaney. Now he's going to back out of it real slow on the bottom of the racetrack and lose a handful of spots. 68 goes on by, 37 of Ben Burnett, the 36 of Rich Jet, all going to clear the 14 of Josh Chaney, and in one lap he's going to go from position number 5 all the way back to that number 8 spot.
Ryan Vaughn down on pit road, 13th spot, 1 lap down. Unscheduled pit stop for sure for him. He's going to pull it off into the pits. Let's see what the crew does here. Looks like they're going to actually go to work on it. Wasn't for sure if he was going to bring it to the garage area, but they are going to work on that car as we're side by side here for 5th spot and 4th place car of Scott Simley. Simley to the outside. LeVere in his infamous blue and yellow Chevy to the bottom. Simley hangs on to fourth. Ben Burnett in the outside wall off of corner 2. He'll bang it. 14 car, Josh Cheney spinning off the corner 2. Down way below the racing surface, so no caution. But the 14 will just lose it and hit the inside wall. And he'll call it a night. In fact, he'll go through the back wall or back pit area, Evan, and go straight for the garage.
And he was nearly able to miss it because that wall kind of bends inwards and just clipped it. His front end really wasn't all that torn up, but got to be a frustrating night knowing that, again, you got to be so disciplined here. You can just overdrive it just that slightest bit, and, you know, next thing you know, your night pretty much done. He knows that if he got back going, he really wouldn't improve much from where he sits right now as he is retired on the racetrack. So, again, a tough break for him for sure, and he is left this evening's competition. Ryan Vaughn will move up down to position number 12 as Cheney would drop back, which would give us 12 cars still active. 11 of them would be on the lead lap as we continue to go. And trying to stretch out a green flag run side by side for a second. A 58 of Justin Wilson to the inside and side by side with Jose Gonzalez door to door through quarter number 4.
Man, look at Wilson motor housing it to the bottom. He has the run, the momentum to the inside. Let's see who carries it through turn 1 here in 2. Gonzalez to the outside in the gold rim Chevy. No, sir. Justin Wilson will take over the number 2 spot. And, oh, did you just hear that? Gonzalez into the wall. Not sure how bad it was, but he did hit it.
And it looks like it was at it too, and he just grazed it. He could have been less contact, but he didn't knock the wall down. It was pretty significant contact on that one, and his car really wiggled out of corner number 4, and he's able to hang on to it for the time being as these guys try to stretch out this green flag run. Jose's not going to drop much further back than where he sits in 3rd for the time being. Speaking of for the time being, the Ford of LeVere is in 4th. He would be the next car in line. He's a second back from Jose that last time by the stripe.
Bobby Terrell still leading the race. Justin Wilson's coming. Bobby just put down a 30.2. Wilson 30.010, so nearly a 29-second lap time for him as they come off the corner. 1 car length separates them. Justin Wilson looking to regain the lead tonight at New Hampshire. Can he do it after the halfway mark? The 58 car coming in a hurry.
And Wilson trying to close it down in a similar situation that we saw earlier. Justin Wilson, the chase car, trying to get up through the field when he was doing the same thing to Scott Simley in the 68 when his Ford was up front. Is that Justin Wilson machine is going to apply the pressure now. Last time he put his 58 Joey Jatino Racing Chevrolet side by side for the lead. A caution flew and essentially robbed him of that, and then everybody came down pit road. He is there, and he is on a back bumper of the Muscle Milk Honda Chevrolet of the 7 of Bobby Terrell. Half a car length to a car length now as the 7 pulls a little bit of speed at a corner number 4 and down the front straightaway.
Uh-oh. Wrecking turn 1, 68 car, Scott Simley. Gonna spin it. And he's going to get maybe a little help from the 36 of Rich Jett, who tried to squeeze out to the high side into turn 1 there. Scott Simley will spin it out and sustain heavy damage. And I don't believe the caution waved on that one, though it could have, but it did not. Rich Jett now pitting. Rich Jett, the 36 car, coming down pit road. Heavy damage to the left front of that car after making contact with Scott Simley.
And again, just as it appeared there, it's Terrell in the number 1 spot. And it's tracing him is the 58 of Justin Wilson. Rich Jett is down pit road for service to his machine, torn up pretty badly. I don't know how much longer Justin Wilson is going to want to wait around. He knows that if he kind of lays back a little bit, a caution could become his worst enemy. So as he runs, you got to think he's going to want to make some sort of an aggressive move, but you can't really pin that gas again on corner exit. So if the 58's going to go for it, I think it's going to have to be him throwing it down in there on corner entry is where he's going to have to do it. But in order to do so, again, it translates back to needing a good run down the straightaway, which means you really got to get off one of these corners nice and strong. 58 takes a nose to the inside. Does he make it side by side? He gets a nose. Can he get to the door? He does, side by side, and now he nearly loses it. The 7 tails into the wall. Justin Wilson is sideways, able to hang on to it, and back to single file, and once again a car length separate the top 2.
What you could do here, if I'm Justin Wilson, Evan, I know I may be a tick faster, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep applying pressure to Bobby Terrell. Make Bobby keep looking up in his rearview mirror and make him make that mistake. Let him wash up the track. Then take the easy pass. Justin Wilson throwing it down there like he nearly did there. He almost lost it coming off the corner, so you don't want to jeopardize throwing away an easy 1-2-3 finish perhaps for him when you can just kind of relax and just kind of sit there and ride behind him. Now we'll see him look back up underneath. Look how tricky that is. Look how close. See, that's sort of playing Jeopardy, if you will. Double Jeopardy, if you will.
Yeah, and I think that's the right strategy call. I mean, you mentioned it. The 58's just a little bit of a tick quicker. Rich Jett, by the way, has just manually disconnected from the sim. His night is done. That will allow Ryan Vaughn to move up to position number 11. 10 cars is what remain on the lead lap right now in our longest green flag stint of the evening. And again, Wilson being faster, he can apply that pressure, and at a track like Loudon, very easy to force a mistake. You can force that 7 to overdrive it a little bit as the 58 looks to the inside. You can force him to overdrive the middle of the corner, force him to overdrive the outside. This time, 58 Wilson is able to make it stick. Not enough, though. Does he throw it in? No, he pulls back in line for the time being as the battle rages on for those top 2 spots. Now they're door to door. This is the best shot the 58's got at it all race long here in this last stint. They are nose to nose. Give it to Terrell at the stripe. They head off into 1.
Off into 1, the 58 car, the lime green fighting machine to the bottom. The muscle milk Chevy of Bobby Terrell to the top side. 58 will take the lead. The hand out the window, the 7 car, as he gives it to him. Justin Wilson takes over New Hampshire, and with that said, we'll go side-by-side live, take a commercial break. You're watching the MW Productions Network's live coverage, New Hampshire Motor Speedway on the ITSR Twisted Cup Series.
Shop.
We're back live here, and all sorts of things happening here. Justin Wilson complaining about brakes. Bobby Terrell having some problems. Jose Gonzalez also a tad bit of an issue with his brakes. He tapped them and looped it around, and he looped it so quick and did that 360 in about 170 miles an hour that the pace car didn't even see him. Neither did the flagman, and they kept it green. He did a 360 as now Justin Wilson. Look at the, keep your eye on the battle here as I talk, but Jose Gonzalez looped it around and got heavy damage to the rear end of that car, and the 26 car is now being shown in the 5th spot.
Yeah, Jose got a good look there going down into the corner, and again just got on those brakes and locked up those tires. The rear end stepped out on him. He went into the fence. No caution was thrown, so staying green, and this could be a race to the end now with inside of 30 laps to go. Justin Wilson had the challenger, and he's now back to the point as him and Bobby Terrell swapped that lead a couple of times there under that commercial break. But again, now you come back to those that fuel strategy. Everybody should be good to go. Does anybody have tires that will prevail a little better? I know everybody pretty much came in and topped off, got tires on that last fuel strategy. But if we do remember, Wilson was the first car to do so, and a couple guys took 2 tires in the likes of CJ LeVere. So again, just some notes to keep an eye on to see if we see some of these guys start to fade, because this is by far the longest run of the night.
It is for sure the longest run of the night. In fact, the last caution came on lap 53, and we're on 84. So over 30 laps, just over 30 laps of green flag running here, Evan. And as you mentioned, the tires are playing a little bit of a factor. CJ hitting 30.5s, Bobby hitting 30.4s, and so is Wilson. So CJ was closing a little bit, but lost a little bit of momentum there as he is your 3rd place driver. Ryan Vaughn in the middle of everything, folks, turned it in, his keys over into the garage area and cut the car off. He'll look at finishing 11th spot, just outside the top 10.
And it's now down to, again, 9 cars that do remain on the lead lap. Jose is hanging pretty tough with the damage that he had, and it appears that thankfully the sim did not deem the damage to be enough that would force him to come down to pit road to get required repairs. But the back of that Puerto Rican Meatball Company machine is torn up, so Jose has fallen to 5th and will most likely fall into the clutches of the guys of Valdi Sarabia, John Wilco, Scott Simley, Douglas Wyatt, who are the last cars on the lead lap. Wyatt being the last of the bunch. Number 5 machine is 9th on track right now, but if this thing goes green, you gotta think this is Justin Wilson's race. He looked faster than Terrell, but you gotta give props to that 7 Muscle Milk Chevy. He's hanging tough, but I think Justin Wilson is gonna be slowly starting to scoot away with this one, and a great run off of 4 for the 58, and he's gonna pick up a 10th that time.
Closing in ever so slightly, but will he have the amount of laps he needs to do it? Because we are closing in on the finish here at Loudon. The Fisher Cats Baseball 130, which was originally set for 130 laps until we ran into a little bit of rain, and it knocked us down to about 110, and that's where we've been ever since the second green flag drop, if you will. And Justin Wilson was dominant in the first opening race, and of course getting the pole position again for the second time. Dominant for the first short-lived few laps, and then lost his way a little bit, but found the treasure map, and he's back out there searching for gold. Currently running 30.5s to Bobby Terrell 30.4s. CJ also turning 30.4s, but he's about a full turn away, a full turn 2 away, as they all exit towards the backstretch of here. A little cloudy back off into the distance there, Evan, off of turn 4 there.
These guys hoping to not see the rain return once again, and just now surpassing the 1 hour mark in this the second stint of this race after the rain delay earlier on in the going. So we're really winding down, and once these guys get green flag laps going again, they really start to knock out these laps. 20 laps to go that last time by for Justin Wilson. He's opened it up to about 0.4 of a second over Bobby Terrell. CJ Laver, the next closest competitor, is nearly 2 seconds back. So if this thing doesn't see at least one more yellow, this is definitely Justin Wilson's race to lose.
It really is, and hey, that could happen. Anything can happen. If a caution were to come out now, you've got to go down pit road, and there may be that one guy. There's always that guy, that one guy who just takes right sides only. Or there's that guy who does not take any tires, So there's all kinds of things that could come into play here in the last closing laps if we're now down to 20, less than 20 laps to go.
Yeah, I just don't think that Bobby Terrell really has anything left for Justin Wilson. And he did a good job of hanging it off for the time that he did, but Justin Wilson's just going to eat up that clean air. The 11 of LD Sarabia. Oh, he's going to... LD Sarabia goes to the inside of Jose Gonzalez. And a caution! The 11 of LD Sarabia goes to make a routine pass on the slower 26 of Jose Gonzalez and actually spins it out, and we are under caution just like that.
You saw the left hand come out the window. Gonzalez was going to let him go, and how about that? He just turned a little bit. It was like a 5 degrees more to the right. He would have not brought out the caution. But the rear end of that car completely went inverted, and that's why we see the yellow here, and that's what Wilson did not want to see. Not with less than 15 to go. So the leaders are down pit road, and Gonzalez having 4 tires put on his car and no problems getting out. Bobby Terrell will run second off of pit road. CJ Laver third, Brian Ben Burnett fourth. So far, there is that one guy who stayed out. Actually, no one stayed out. No one stayed out. There are no guys that stayed out.
And no tire strategy either. 4 tires for everybody. And this would be the point in the race that if somebody feels like they have a shot at Justin Wilson, they take 2 tires. And everybody taking 4, knowing that realistically they don't have a chance unless they have 4 fresh tires on his machine.
Down to it. You're right.
LD Sarabia currently being scored in position number 1. Scoring needs to cycle through as he comes down the pit lane for service around the pace car. And he obviously going to be the cause of the caution, so passing the pace car, that EOL penalty or black flag, whatever the sim gives him, will not be too painful. So he comes down pit road. He will try to get service done to his machine again. Went to pass on the inside of the great Jose Gonzalez, was unable to do so. And a very strange incident. Again, we talked about it. A caution can really just change this entire race, and it did right there. Jose Gonzalez has actually lost a lap. He is in 10th place. Scott Simley's also down 1 lap as well.
Oh, boy.
Did not expect that.
Did not. And the only driver that Jose Gonzalez can pass here is Scott Simley, so he would only get 9th spot. So that's a big turnaround of events. Now, he is up 30 some odd points in the point standings, so now he'll just be about 20 down. But, a couple bad races in the next 5 races, Jose could lose the points lead. But for now, he's still in it. As Justin Wilson also still in it to win it. He's got the pace car on his side. He's right behind it. 7-car Bobby Terrell will restart second. LeVere, with a little bit of right rear fender damage, will start third. And the outside of him, the light blue Caribbean blue rimmed Chevy of Ben Burnett will start fourth.
And this could possibly be our final restart of tonight. LD Sarabia is off track. Pace car down to pit road. Green flag flies. We're racing a big tire spin. CJ LeVere down to the inside wall. It's going to be Ben Burnett who wants second. To the inside of Bobby Terrell is the 37. Can't hang on for now. Top 3, top 4, and now the top 5 single file.
Wow, what a move by Ben Burnett to take over that third spot, but here comes CJ LeVere back towards the bottom as he'll now dive it to the bottom. He'll let out of the throttle. Hopefully Ben Burnett for him will wash up, and he does it. Ben sticking nice and pretty to the track right now. Third spot coming off the corner. Justin Wilson leading Bobby Terrell back to the line. 98 laps have been complete. 12 to go.
If Terrell wants to get this job done, he's got to get in front of the 58, and he needs to be playing defense in the closing laps. He cannot wait much longer to let that 58 start to scoot out and away. The JGR Chevrolet of Justin Wilson is starting to pull away ever so slightly on the number 7 of Bobby Terrell. That time by, or rather last time by, just over a tenth of 7, a little bit sloppy off of corner number 4. 3/10 Justin Wilson trying to check out. 11 to go.
11 laps to go here at Loudon, New Hampshire. Bobby Terrell trying to find his way back towards the front. He led a little bit, but ever since he got past the second time by Wilson, he hasn't led yet. So Bobby Terrell still trying to find his way back. The 37, Ben Burnett, meanwhile, about a half a turn away, nearly loses it off the corner. CJ LeVere focused right in, about 6 car lengths back, coming off into turn 1. LeVere trying to put a podium finish on the board for his 4 crew.
And LeVere slides back a little bit to the 37 of Ben Burnett as they go down the back straightaway. Top 2 have pulled away by just about a second, and Terrell really drives it in hard there in 3. He needs to get back to the gas, but you just can't do it at this racetrack on corner exit. At a Muscle Milk Chevrolet will scrape the wall once again at 9 laps to go. And now down in the corners number 1 and 2, Terrell actually was able to pick up a 10th that last time by. Keep in mind, no overtime in the iRacing service, so once we get down to within 4 laps to go, this race will end. So you got to imagine if you're that 7 machine of Bobby Terrell, you're going to be racing it out to that point. You can't wait much longer to make your move.
No, you can't. It's up or shut up here. Bobby Terrell looking 29.784 last time by, quicker. This time by, slower. Just by a hair, though. Bobby Terrell about 1 car length full back. Meanwhile, CJ LeVere looking for third. He's about half of a car length coming off the corner. Of 2 down the back stretch. 3 car lengths now separate those 2 drivers.
And now Justin Wilson getting back to that horsepower and has opened up what could be his biggest lead since the restart. That time by the start-finish line. Back to 3/10 of a second as Justin Wilson and both Bobby Terrell running in the 29.9 brackets, but it is a 2-horse race at this point. For all intents and purposes, the 58-man Justin Wilson is starting to really check out on Bobby Terrell. The 7 seeing this one slowly start to slip away here.
You mentioned it, 4-car race coming off the corner. 58 car coming off the corner. He's in the green car. 7 car is Bobby Terrell. 7 coming off the corner. He's in the front stretch now. He's into turn 1. Bobby Terrell looking for the lead here, coming through turn 1, off of turn 2. Bobby Terrell not going to be able to maintain racing speed here, or at least not Justin Wilson racing speed. Look at Wilson pull off the corner now, about 10 car lengths ahead. The 4-car CJ LeVere coming through the corner here in turn 3. He's got Ben Burnett in front of him. Caution's out. Game over. 5-car into the wall.
Douglas Wyatt is going to go around once again out of corner number 2. Calamity Corner takes another victim, and it is hippie Doug Wyatt is going around. The 5 machine spins it. He's actually able to avoid that inside wall. He claims responsibility for the caution, but we will once again slow them down on lap number 105 is when the caution flew. The field is now grouping up behind the pace car. on lap 106. It's a far-off shot, but we may get a one-lap shootout. All eyes are going to be on the pace car. This next time by is 4 laps to go, so there's a shot that we could get one at least one more lap in here and a dash for that checkered flag.
I think you're right, Evan. I think we're going to get the green. We're going to get 2 flags at one time. I think we'll go back green and we'll get the white flag with that green flag, and then that time, the next time by, will be the checker. So it'll be a green and a white, and then a checkered.
Again, we
not to be confused with the green-white checkered, sorry.
And we're not really going to get any sort of advance notice. Again, the drivers will get a message on their screen if they get 2 to go. And if we're going to get a 1-lap restart, they need to get that 2 to go coming up this next time by. So we will probably be able to tell for the radio chatter when they take lap 108, if we do get 2 to go, it'll be one more circuit around, then you get the 1 to go, and then it'll be a 1-lap shootout. So although we're not going to get any sort of message from the sim, I think we're going to be able to, and the viewers can't see it or hear it, but we're going to be able to trace this audio and to see if something is going to happen here in these closing laps as the pace car works at a 4. The field has been cut down to 8 cars on the lead lap. Douglas Wyatt is off track, so Scott Simley, the last car on the lead lap, in position number 8 right now. Pace car has crossed the stripe, and the 58 of Justin Wilson is moving his race car back in, and it is going to be a 1-lap shootout. Justin Wilson has gotten the 2 to go, so it's going to be a 1-lap shootout here.
Yep, one lap shootout.
2-lap shootout.
Yeah, please don't dive bomb me, Ricky.
Oh boy.
No hard feelings,
here.
but I'm getting 5th. I'm putting you in the wall.
Justin Wilson leading the charge.
I think dive bombing
7-car
the
Bobby Terrell, Ben Burnett 3rd, Lavere 4th. Wilco will be 5th. Jose Gonzalez, give me a break. Jose Gonzalez back on the lead lap. Are you kidding me?
There you go.
What look? The 7th position car, Stephen Herring, is 7th again. The 8th car is the 68 of Scott Simley, and Douglas Wyatt will be 9th now. He'll be 1 lap down after that wreck.
And I don't think Jose is really going to be able to be competitive. He's 6th right now. He does have Stephen Herring behind him and a little bit of damage. The 68 of Scott Simley behind them as well, who has less damage. So we got the 1 to go as we pace through 1 and 2. And I think Justin Wilson, all he's got to do is get this restart going, and he'll be ready to rock and roll. Down the back straightaway for the second to last time, Justin Wilson is the control car when we hit turns 3 and 4.
And remember, this is a green and a white flag being thrown at the same time. And then they'll go 4 more corners and then the checkered. That's it. Here we go. Put up or shut up. If I'm Bobby Terrell, I'm using Justin Wilson as a brake into turn 1.
Pace car gets ready to dive down to the safety of pit road. The iRacing Ford First Mustang pace car prepares at a corner number 4. There it goes to pit road. Justin Wilson waits half a second. He's on the loud pedal. The green flag flies. The 4 of CJ Lavere is in the fence. We're 3-4 wide back of the pack as they scatter around him. It's a 2-horse race for the checkered flag through turns 1 and 2. The 7 of Bobby Terrell trying to drive like a bat out of hell. He's sideways. It's a car length. I don't think he's going to get it. Justin Wilson, 3 car lengths into 3 and 4.
Bobby Terrell dives it deep as he can into turn 4. Can't make it stick. Wilson will win New Hampshire. Bobby Terrell 2nd. Ben Burnett will finish 3rd, and Jose Gonzalez, get out of here.
Thank you, Bobby. Good racing with you. That was fun.
4th, and rounding out the top 5 will be Scott Simley. That's your top 5 in New Hampshire. It was a green and a white flag at the same time, and then it was the checkers. And boy, what a finish as Justin Wilson takes home the victories.
Yeah, great race there. We saw Bobby Terrell give it that effort coming out of corner number 2, and again, you can't pick out to the gas. He didn't care. He was sideways, and that rear end was kicked out about at least 15 degrees out of 2. and he couldn't keep his foot in the gas, or he would have ended up in those tire barriers midway down the back straightaway. Had to get out of it, and that's what gave Justin Wilson in. And it goes back to the restart. So a solid job by Justin Wilson. He's gonna burn it down on the front straightaway, celebrate his win, and a well-deserved one in that.
Absolutely, a great run here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, where the first portion of the race, I say the first portion, but the first few laps would come to a short end of a rain delay, and then we would go 110 laps here and finish this race. And now joining me up in the booth, Ben Burnett. Ben would finish third tonight. Ben, we got one heck of a wild finish there, and you brought her home in third, but you had a good opportunity to win this race there with one lap to go in the green flag.
Yeah, didn't want to run nobody over. Already had some controversy in the race. Glad to finish third. Thank Hippie's Paint Shop, Richie B's, ITSR. Thank you guys for putting it on.
Absolutely, and of course, Ben, there's always next week, I guess you could say. And next week we go to the Shooting Bricks Pacers Basketball 70 at Indianapolis Oval, set for 70 laps. I say next week, but we're actually off next week, July 29th. Any indication about how that 37 team will run at Indianapolis yet?
Not yet. If it's last times I've been there, for any indication, I might be in trouble. It's not one of my better tracks.
Absolutely. Last but not least, Ben, tonight again, the short rain delay at the beginning of the race, but we set for 110 laps and we had a great run. Couldn't get things going earlier on and halfway on, but towards the end, what great racing we had, and who makes it happen for that 37 Ben Burnett crew?
Like I said earlier, Hippie's Paint Shop, ITSR, Richie B's, and you guys.
All righty, thank you, Ben, and we'll see you 2 weeks from now. Ben Burnett, folks, finishing third tonight here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Loudon, as some call it, and now stepping up into the booth, Bobby Terrell. Bobby Terrell has just gotten out of the car, and Evan Pasoko's down with him. Evan?
You were down here with the driver of the number 7 Muscle Milk Chevrolet, and Bobby Terrell is going to come home one position short than what he would have wanted, and actually nearly lost that second spot in those closing laps as Ben Burnett started to knock on the door. But Bobby, walk us through that final restart first and foremost, knowing that you were getting the green and the white at the same time. We saw you kick that rear end on that 7 sideways, as tried to hang on as much as you could at a corner number 2 and just couldn't make it stick at this very flat New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Well, I mean, that last lap, I was just trying to let Justin know I was there. It's very hard to pass here, so, you know, that's the reason Ben got a run on me out of that corner. I was just trying to stick my nose in there anywhere I could, so just to let Justin know I was there.
Definitely. Walk us through your race before the rain delay that we're calling it. We came back here for 110 laps in our second go at this. You qualified in third, second fastest in our short little practice session. So obviously had to like the car, but again, this racetrack is just so flat, and seems to be another one of the storylines like it has been week in and week out the last couple races with this tire build on these cars, is they're just so hard to control off the corner. What did you have to do to keep your car underneath you?
Well, I mean, it just took a lot of throttle control. I mean, I wasn't, I mean, I don't mind telling you, this is one of my favorite tracks, but I just wasn't comfortable all night, you know, with the setup or the tire model or whatever it is. I just never felt comfortable all night long. I mean, I'm glad I came home second. I would have liked to have won, but I just didn't think I had the car to beat Justin at all. I mean, he definitely had a dominant car.
And definitely, and as we discussed earlier on, we have an off week, and then we head to the Brickyard, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, for our next night out here on Tuesday nights. How confident are you moving into that race?
I like Indy. It's one of my favorite tracks too. So we'll see what the new tire model is. We'll probably have a new build by then, so we'll see what it has and how it drives.
Definitely 10-4. You're able to put on a show there tonight, and we saw a lot of great racing, especially in that long green flag run there before our final caution of the race. Who makes it happen for you in the number 17?
Muscle Mill, of course, guys. Thank you guys up in the booth, ITSR for putting this on, MW Productions, and Hippie's Paint Shop. Appreciate it, guys.
That is Bobby Terrell. Congratulations on your second place finish, and good luck moving forward into Indy. Bobby Terrell comes home in second in his number 7 machine, and now we're going to send it up to Victory Lane, where, Keaton, I believe you caught up with our race winner, Justin Wilson.
I sure have. You can call it back-to-back. You can call it whatever you want, but he got the pole position twice. And, in fact, I'm going to bring up a statistic here for Mr. 58 Lime Green Fight Machine, Justin Wilson. 3 races, not counting tonight. He had 2 poles. 66.7% of the races that Justin Wilson has started, he has started on the pole. Tonight, he claims 4 races, 3 poles. But, hey, Wilson, I'm counting the second pole. 4 races, 4 poles, and a win tonight here at New Hampshire.
Oh yeah, it's pretty crazy. I was having to redo qualifying, brought a whole twist to this, and it was pretty fun.
Absolutely. Talk about what's going through the nerves, what's going through the veins. How many of your nerves died tonight here on that restart with not just a green-white checker? This wasn't your ordinary finish. This was a green and a white flag at the same time. That flagman was busy with both hands flying them through there, and then you hold on and win. That's just got to be something.
Oh yeah, for the fact that I've never won at New Hampshire before, this has always been one of my worst tracks, and for some reason tonight we really clicked. I was fighting brake issues for some reason. They kept locking up on me for some reason, but you know, it really paid off, and I knew that last restart, I told myself, watch tire spin, and I knew Bobby, he's been getting great jumps on the restarts on me. It's like he knew when I was going. And sure enough, I spun, and I think the entire field spun their tires on that last restart. We just got lucky enough to get ahead.
Well, I'll tell you what, Justin, most drivers, in fact, Bobby Terrell on down to 17th, they're not even thinking anymore about tonight. Their next thing is thinking about July 29th, where we go to Indianapolis. And we've got to ask you, and we know you want to let this win, carry off you into the night and celebrating, but you know, we got to look forward to with you. And Indianapolis Motor Speedway, is that the type of track that you feel like your crew and your team can get in and maybe get that third win?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I do tend to do pretty good in Indianapolis. It just all depends on the setup, really. If we can get a nice sort of loose setup, I'd be all over it. I'd be moving.
Last but not least, Justin, who makes it happen for the 58 machine?
I got to thank DJ LeVere for inviting me over here and letting me race with these guys. Just a bunch of good guys, raced with them for a long time, and it's always fun over here.
Absolutely. Hope to see you more. 3 starts for Mr. Wilson. 4 completed tonight will make up 2 wins and 4 pole positions. Hey, I'm still counting the second one. For me, Evan Pasoko, Michael Woolley, and all the folks at ITSR Twisted Cup Series, we'll see you July 29th live in Indianapolis. Who will kiss the bricks? We'll see you.